Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Larry Farmer, and let's queer up the worldview. Kenyan transgender rights hang in the balance over a significant birth certificate case. Transgender Kenyans' fight for birth certificates that align with their gender identity is now at a critical juncture. Despite several legal victories, Attorney General Dorcus Oduor is challenging a case filed by 3 trans individuals asking the High Court to dismiss their petition. Oduor argues that people are born either, quote, a boy or a girl, end quote. The current laws do not permit changing one's sex in adulthood. In her written submission to Justice Bahati Mwamuye, Oduor contends that gender identity and birth certificates are based on physical appearance, excluding intersex people. The 3 plaintiffs, Audrey Mbugua, Maurene Muia, and Arnest Thaiya, argue that discrepancies in their birth certificates, ID cards, and passports have hindered their access to opportunities and rights. They assert that gender identity is not determined solely by physical appearance, but involves a complex interplay of chromosomes, gonads, hormones in the brain. Mbugua, a leading trans activist, has been fighting for transgender rights for over a decade. Her landmark legal victories include a 2014 ruling that required the Kenya National Examinations Council to change her academic certificates to reflect her gender identity. Advocacy groups like Amka Africa Justice and the Kenya Human Rights Commission have joined the case, supporting the plaintiff's fight for the right to live authentically. Well, that's a lot to digest.
And pronounce.
Absolutely. And, if anyone watching this, if I mispronounced any names there, I tried beforehand to listen to them phonetically. So I did try.
You did.
But the story is really powerful. It reminds me too, I recently had conversations. I'm trying to educate some people who have not been exposed to the trans community as many of us have. And, sometimes I get these questions. I'm like, does it really matter? People saying, well, is your friend, do they still have their male genitalia, things like that? And I'm like, does it matter?
It's none of your business.
No, and I said that. I said,
right.
I don't.
That's not the question.
And I said, I don't have those conversations necessarily with my friends as well.
Right.
So, but you look at the whole thing about chromosomes and intersex, and I think in our country that's being chipped away and lost. That, whether it's a state of mind and identity or there's actual physical, biological components that go behind everything. We all need to support internationally. That's where we're going to gain our strength and momentum to continue through our next 4 years, but also support our allies in other countries.
Right.
I find it extremely ironic that she is saying that, birth certificates are based on physical appearance when she looks like a boy. I mean, got buzzed head all the way. I mean, honey, if I'm looking at you at first, I'm thinking that you're part of my fabulous trans community. I mean, but she would probably not like to hear that. But
No.
We don't like to hear any of the things that we just read. So I think that everyone needs to take a step back and really look at the larger picture. I don't foresee much changing in Kenya, unfortunately, but this is the show that gets these stories out there, right?
Absolutely.
And sometimes we have to report things at this table that we don't love reporting, but if we weren't reporting it, then we wouldn't be raising awareness.
That's right. And I agree that Dorcas is a butchy little thing.
Yeah.
That was to see. And you can see in that picture and there are other pictures online, she's just clutching that Bible and she's just going to
Oh, is that what that was?
She's going to hit you in the head with it.
Well, maybe she's protesting too much.
I completely agree. And I'm sure that she has more. That has more to do with her argument about this, clutching that very heavy book, than actual science.
And I think too, if a message gets out there and it sparks one person to take action, whether it's
That's right.
here in our country, in Florida, or in Africa, we've done something great today.
Right.
And unfortunately, the parallels between here in South Florida and Kenya are not very far off. So this is a story that we'll continue to watch and bring some more updates. That is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.